dig it, Satch.
Hey, what's good, guys? Happy Thursday. Welcome. We are going to go over the markets here today, our daily 4 o'clock update. Decent day in the markets, depends on where you were looking. First of all, if you're one of our customers, check out your email. Look for our Credit Score Myths email. That's a class we did on Tuesday. Feel free to watch that whenever you get a chance. It should be available for at least the next 2 weeks or so. Also, if you're thinking about Jazz Wealth, you need help with your investments, whether it's a rollover, you want to open a new account, get started for your retirement, or you want to transfer an account from somewhere where maybe you're just not getting that personal touch that you like, feel free to check out our website. You can click Invest Now to get started. You can schedule a call with me directly. Otherwise, take a look at our portfolios. We have 6 portfolios that we manage personally in-house. We do not buy mutual funds. We don't go out there and invest in other products where we get some kind of kickback or whatever. We do the investing for you, and our performance speaks for itself on our website at jazzwealth.com. All right, so the markets today, a couple things. We got tomorrow, the focus will be on tariffs, some tariffs going on Chinese goods tomorrow. Little things, not really even that big of a deal. It's probably just a way to get them back to the table to continue to talk about the trade tantrum that we're working on. Not quite a trade war just yet. And then also in the news, the markets were a little bit higher today. Actually, the Dow was up over 100 at one point. New York Attorney General decides he wants to sue the Trump family for maybe some things they didn't do quite right. Just another headline to distract you from what's really going on. The markets overall didn't really care, and I will explain why as we go here. Okay, let's get started. Taking a look at the charts here. Here is the Dow that you see on the screen. It finished a little bit lower. It was lower by 24 points, which is not that big of a deal. The big deal was it was higher to start the day. It was up over 100. Now, if you look at the charts, you follow this sort of thing. Let's zoom in a little bit. Today represents this blip here. You can see we started by shooting higher and finished near the lows or near the opening price of the day. This pullback here would be totally normal. While some of you may not like to see the markets pull back, as long as it's calm like it is, a pullback towards this green line is what all the technical traders would be looking for. Not a problem there. In the Dow, your worst performer was General Electric. However, it didn't weigh that much on the Dow. The worst performer, in my opinion, was JP Morgan. That's the one that really held you back. The banks were being held back today. We'll go over that in just a second. If we go over to the S&P 500, there you go. Slight positive day for the S&P 500, although the same thing here. See what happened when it broke out of this range and had these great string of days? It all of a sudden got quiet for a while. There was a bit of time correction, as we call that. And so that happened for a couple of weeks before moving again higher. Now what's happened? We've moved higher, a nice little string of good days there. And so if we go sideways or pull back a little bit, not many people are going to care about that. That would actually be quite healthy if you were to ask a technical trader. If we go over to the Nasdaq, that was screaming today. What a great day for the Nasdaq, hitting all-time highs. This is sort of follow-up on that news from the At&t Time Warner deal that came out yesterday, the day before or whatever. And so all these tech names that are now able to sort of participate in that, all the optimism surrounding the other deals that are in the works, possibly going through, continue to just fuel the Nasdaq. That was your best performer today, higher by about 1%. The Nasdaq gained a total of 65 points, going to all-time highs in the process. Now, a couple stocks in the news today. We got Disney. Disney's shooting higher again today, adding another 2.5%. Remember, Disney and Fox are in the works to put a deal together. Now, Fox was higher by another 2% today. The issue? Comcast came along and said, tell you what, I know you guys are working a deal, Fox, I know you're working a deal with Disney for that $52 billion. We're willing to put up $65 billion for the same assets. And I'll tell you what, so what happens whenever there's a deal, when there's a deal between two public companies, the purchasing company always says, we want to pay this much, and if we don't close this deal, meaning this deal does not go through, we will pay you X number of dollars for your time and energy and everything. And so Disney said, hey, we want to buy Fox. And if for some reason the deal doesn't go through, Disney volunteered to give Fox $1.5 billion simply because the deal didn't go through. It's pretty cool. If you're Fox, you know, you don't really mind. Of course, Fox wants to sell their assets, or some of them. So Comcast came along and said, tell you what, how about $65 billion? They outbid Disney by quite a bit there. And then Comcast even said, on top of that, if you decide not to do the deal with Disney, we will pay the $1.5 billion breakup fee. So incredible what they're doing there. Comcast shares were up by about 4.5%. Now, the reason the markets really didn't take off today, or reason the S&P didn't really get going, or the Dow or anything, was financials. The financials did not support the market. So we always say you need tech and you need financials in order to see a strong market rally on the day. And today we did not have the financials. We had the tech. I just explained how strong tech was. But if we look at financials here, they did pull back. Now, part of the reason was they were focused on the European Central Bank, which came out like overnight while we were sleeping or whatever. And they said, or early this morning actually, and they said that they were going to hold off on raising their interest rates. They were going to do some other things and cutting their QE and things like that going into the end of the year, but they were going to hold off on raising rates, I believe, until 2019, the summertime. And so because of that, it's not very beneficial to banks. Any stocks like JP Morgan, like we said, your worst performer, one of your worst performers in the Dow, down 1.5% today. They want the higher rates. They're exposed to international finance, right, over there in Europe and really across the whole globe. And so they say, well, that sucks. That means it's going to be longer until we start to see benefit from JP Morgan. So despite yesterday being sort of exciting for the banks, today was not. Goldman Sachs was only down a little bit, and Morgan Stanley was down about 0.5%. So most of that coming from that ECB news, and that's why you didn't actually see the markets really do anything on the day. If we go over to Tesla, Tesla was higher again by about 4%, going right into that window we talked about yesterday, temporary stopping point. Oh, Elon Musk tried to push the stock a little bit higher today, saying that he was going to buy like 72,000 of his own shares. Well, at $300 and something, $350 a share, that's about $25 million that he's buying of his own company. So he's taking his own money and he's buying 25 million shares. This, of course, comes after the job cuts that they announced the other day for the salaried employers. They are attempting to show a profit. Now, a lot of analysts think that all of these changes will only show a profit for about a quarter, and then they'll go back to, not really making any money. So a lot of people think that this is sort of just a little bit of showboating to try to get the stock higher in the short term, just to show a profit, and then once they return back to a loss, it really wouldn't be such a big deal. Maybe the stock would be a lot higher by then. Also, if you live in Chicago, apparently Elon Musk is going to be there tomorrow. Chicago selected Elon Musk's company. He's got a separate company, and it's kind of funny. The name of the company is called The Boring Company. And so The Boring Company wants to build a high-speed transit system. It's pretty cool the way it looks, to go from downtown, right around the loop, to Chicago O'Hare. It takes like 45 minutes to get there. I've done that trip quite a few times. It's not exciting. The idea here is for about $20, $25, you'll be able to get in this sort of high-speed underground system that'll take 12 minutes. 12 minutes from O'Hare to the loop in downtown Chicago. And Chicago is totally cool with it. About $1 billion to build it. The Boring Company is going to finance it themselves. He's been trying so hard to get this done. He keeps saying California. He offered to fund that whole thing, the Hyperloop. California, I don't think, budged on that. They didn't want anything to do with it. But the Boring Company is going to finance this whole deal for about $1 billion, probably $1.2 billion by the time it's all said and done. And pretty cool. I don't know. I would check it out if that's something that happens. So we'll see what happens there. In the meantime, helping the stock price do quite well today. Let's go over to some other names. And then if you have questions on any stocks or anything you're looking at, happy to take a look at them. Royal Caribbean, that's one of our stocks in our aggressive stock fund, actually having a great day today. 5%, almost a little higher on the day. They're buying a stake, a majority stake, in a luxury cruise line called Silversea. Never heard of them. Never, ever heard of them. They're going to spend $1 billion to do that, and investors really love that they were expanding on their efforts there, so good for us on the aggressive stock fund holders. You guys saw a little bump in that one today. Microsoft. The stock didn't really do anything today, up about 0.5%. They're working on technology to eliminate cashiers and checkout lines in stores. Where have we heard that before, huh? It seems that maybe Amazon is working on that. Well, the Amazon Go store, I believe they call it Amazon Go, that's a store where you go in, you pick up whatever you want, and you just walk out. And when you walk out, they know who you are, they know your payment method, and they just go ahead and charge you probably to your Prime account for that stuff in Amazon. Well, Microsoft wants to dip their toe in that water as well, and apparently they're already working on it, so the stock was a little bit higher. If we go over to Bitcoin, yeah, I'm going to talk about Bitcoin. It was up 5.5% today. The SEC ruled that Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin maybe and something else, that those are not actual securities. Big deal there, right? Because like, let's say Jazz Wealth wants to raise money. If I go to the public and I want to raise money, I need to issue securities, and those securities have specific rules as to who can buy them. And so the Bitcoin was really hoping to avoid this. The SEC decided that since this is decentralized, that it couldn't be labeled as a security. So kind of a win for Bitcoin if you're an investor. You needed that because it has been doing nothing but falling. So today, not too bad for Bitcoin. Not a bad day there. So in the Dow, you've got Disney supporting the stock. Cisco, I believe Cisco was even downgraded today, and the stock finished up higher. Verizon also making a little bit of a comeback there. Not too big of a deal, actually. If we go over to the S&P 500, your big leaders in that one, Royal Caribbean. That's one of our stocks there, doing really well. Of course, Comcast, we mentioned that already. And a lot of the networks, right? The providers like Discovery. Here's Discovery Networks, a couple of their shares looking pretty good there as well. Yeah, that's about it there. Dish Networks and, of course, Netflix crushing it. Netflix doing well, back to new highs also again. To the downside there, Mylan Technologies, they had some sort of FDA thing today. I don't really like biotech stocks, so I didn't read into it too much. Some of the retail names took a hit, but only after having good runs. So you got Kohl's, that's that symbol. You see Kohl's, KSS is the symbol. Nordstrom got hit pretty hard today, about 3.25%. Gap getting hit a little bit there as well. And so because of that and a few other lesser known names, H&R Block, continuing lower there. H&R Block not looking good. And so because of that, if we look at the retail sector as a whole, which had some okay numbers come out today, retail pulling back after its amazing move. Remember, breathe in, breathe out. I'm not telling you to relax. I'm saying stocks breathe in and they breathe out. Look at the breaths that it takes. If you look at any chart, it's just a really simple breathe in, breathe out. There's a pattern. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in a little too far, pull back a little more. Breathe in a little or way too far, it is going to pull back. You can't take a big old huge deep breath and then let a little bit out. You got to let it all out, right? You got to really catch your breath there. So a stupid, simple way to give you some chart analysis there. What else? What else? Tomorrow's Friday. That helps you. All right, I'll answer some questions. Then I got to run. We're working on the new nest egg here, trying to get that all set for everybody. Oh, man. It's so cool. When you talk about how much you should have invested for retirement, do you include both you and your spouse's accounts in your calculations? I would. I certainly would. In the new nest egg here, actually, you could put you and your spouse in there, all of your 401ks, Roth and everything, what you contribute. And of course, that's going to work as a family to say, here's where you'll end up as a family in retirement. Now, on the opposite side of that, in the money that you're taking out when you retire is going to include both of your accounts, both of your Social Securities, if it's applicable there, and any other investments that you have. So you want to factor that into the number, the amount that you're going to need in retirement. And we're breaking it down in the new nest egg, actually. We are breaking it down by month. So you'll be able to say, well, I make about this much right now per month. I'd like about 3/4 of that or something. And you'll be able to plug in your retirement expenses at a certain dollar amount per month. So now you could track your budget month by month as you get closer to retirement, but you'll also know in real time sort of, all right, great, I'm 70% on my way to getting to that goal, and we can make little changes to your plan along the way. My goal is to get every customer on Nest Egg to develop a starting plan. We're going to build a plan. We're just going to flat out call it your retirement plan. It'll have everything in there. You can use the budgeting feature and everything in the meantime, but what I want to do is get everybody on a plan, so when you have questions, when your life changes, or when you just want to review it, we'll log in together. We'll see where your plan's at, and when you say, Dustin, I think I should take more risk and maybe go into the aggressive stock portfolio, we'll be able to measure that and say, well, if you do that, you're taking too much risk, or if you do that, you're getting closer to your goal. You'll be in good shape there. Awesome, awesome program. So thanks, Bruce. I really appreciate the comments there. I appreciate you watching so much. Eddie, ETA for Nest Egg 2.0. Send me an email. You want to get a head start on it? Send me an email. Happy to get you started. We have just kind of a list of people that agreed to sort of dig in there and give us the pros and cons and let us know if there's any changes to be made, but I think we're about done with that. Next week is going to be a big nest egg week. Our classes going forward are going to be on nest egg for all of our customers to kind of help you get started, and we'll get you on there little by little. So let me know if you're ready to go. All right, that's all I have for you. If I've helped you in any way, if you like what you see, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It helps us out somehow. Otherwise, have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.